Casablanca is a newer brand founded in 2018 that is based in Paris and designed by Charaf Tajer. Tajer was born to Moroccan parents but grew up in Paris. Because of his Moroccan background, he spent a lot of his summers exploring the city of Casablanca. His first memories of fashion began in the city. Tajer said the way people in Casablanca approached colors by wearing such bright tones gave him the impression that they were living as if it was their last day. He saw the summer vibrance as a symbol of freedom, a style that he was not used to seeing in Paris. Tajer was a self-taught designer who began his journey by starting the artist collective Pain au Chocolat. Here, he and his friends would throw large parties, inviting international artists to the events. It wasn't just parties though. They once hosted an event where they brought 2 Japanese brands to show and sell their clothes in Paris, connecting Pain au Chocolat to fashion. His introduction into fashion design was co-founding streetwear brand Virgil with Stéphane Ashpool in 2008. Virgil had some color and sportswear influences that are present in Casablanca. In 2010, Tajer began work at Le Pompon, a nightclub in Paris. With Pain au Chocolat, Tajer had actually thrown multiple events at Le Pompon already. By the time he joined as art director, Le Pompon had become synonymous with fashion. Here, he was able to build his network of creatives that would later help his launch of Casablanca. One of those included Virgil, who occasionally DJ'd at Le Pompon. I'm sure we all know what happens when you meet Virgil. Tajer would continue working on Virgil and eventually worked on a collection with Off-White. He had an impressive resume up to this point, but I don't think anyone expected Casablanca to take off as fast as it did. Charaf left Virgil late 2016 and began Casablanca in 2018. The name Casablanca was chosen because it was the city where his parents first met. Even until now, Charaf claims to have never spent a dime on marketing, excluding fashion shows and short films. Another interesting fact is that Casablanca has in-house painters who paint all the graphics by hand before they get printed onto the clothing. Charaf believes that the handmade graphics invoke a level of intimacy that digital design cannot easily achieve. Casablanca's design language is a love child between the city of Casablanca and Paris, as you may expect. From Paris, there's both rebellion and luxury, and from Casablanca, there's vibrance and freedom. The primary theme of the brand is vacation and travel, as well as after sport, showing silk shirts with custom prints and pastel tracksuits. Every photo shoot and short film is done using a film camera because of how the faded colors look and contrast. The very first Casablanca collection was known as Casablanca Tennis Club, with tennis being the luxury sport for resort life. Besides the silk shirts, this collection did not stand out too much in my opinion, but what did, however, was the aesthetic that Tajer was beginning to build. Casablanca oozes vintage luxury. Casablanca would quickly develop more and more into the menswear brand that we know today. Every collection introduced more unique prints and further refined the brand. And while Casablanca is primarily inspired by France and Morocco, those aren't the only destinations for inspiration. For example, Fall-Winter 2020 was inspired by Lake Garda, Italy during the winter time. Spring-Summer 2021 was about Hawaii. Spring-Summer 2022 was about Japan, and it was named after and inspired by a close friend of his who showed him another side of Tokyo, one with ping pong and 90s Sony businessmen. Spring-Summer 2023 was about his psychedelic journey in Mexico and featured live horses. I'll talk about Fall-Winter 2021 and 2022 separately because I think those deserve their own conversation. Charaf built Casablanca as an international brand with every collection inspired by a different location. To me, the first collection that placed Casablanca into the big leagues was Fall-Winter 2021. It's also important to note that this was the first collection that introduced women's wear. Fall-Winter 2021 is a short film based on an after-party of an F1 championship. The clothing looks vintage and sophisticated, but more importantly, the world building is amazing. The location, the music, the dancing, the style, everything combined makes you want to celebrate with them and be a part of their world. Fashion and art does not need to have a deep meaning or message. In my opinion, it usually feels disingenuous when fashion does try to take a political stance, which is why I love it when brands can just have fun with themselves. This was also the collection where he introduced his first collaboration with New Balance. In 2020, the same year that this collection came out, Casablanca was one of the winners of the LVMH prize. Fall-Winter 2022 was also another favorite of mine. This was another short film presentation and was inspired by 90s Parisian glamour. The collection took place in an airport and in a plane where the models were flying to a fancy dinner party. This was another collection that included specially designed Casablanca furniture and decor which added to the Casablanca world. There were puffers inspired by life jackets, stewardess uniforms, and plain loungewear that were mostly all in the French national colors. 2 collaborations in Bulgaria and Globetrotter were also featured here. I really encourage you to watch both of these short films, which I will link in the description below. They're both very short and they're only like 5 to 6 minutes long each. Casablanca has only been around within the last 5 years, but with the amount that Tajer has already achieved with the brand, I'm excited to see what the future holds. Thank you so much for watching.